You know, I really love my smartphone, but I really wonder what it would be like to use an iPad for a week, a cellular connected iPad. No phone, no phone at all. It would be a new challenge where essentially the iPad would become my daily driver. It could actually be kind of easy because all of my family members have iPhones and so they all have iMessage. And for me, I really don't make phone calls at this point. And as it is, the only ones who do call me are a ton of telemarketers. So if you can't make phone calls on an iPad, then I won't have any telemarketers calling me. This might actually be a good idea. If you want to join me in this challenge, feel free. I'm gonna get one of these. I also need one of this. I like this one as it's very nice and bright.
256.
Yep.
10.5 with cellular.
Yep.
Rose gold.
Perfect. Good. Now, before you guys jump all over me, I realize this challenge isn't for everyone, but later on I will show you how to make the most out of your iPad's communication abilities so that you can use it like a phone if needed. So let's see what happens over a week of use in different scenarios. It might just surprise you. First, we went out on a trip over the weekend where people really rely heavily on their smartphones for things like navigation, taking pictures, communicating with loved ones far away at home, and just general in-car entertainment. I vlogged some thoughts as we went along. So day one using this as my daily driver, and so far so good. I finally got it all set up. It took a little bit of time to get T-Mobile working on this properly, but now we're all good. I have to say, getting to use this big screen for navigation really isn't so bad, and getting to respond to you guys on this awesome keyboard has not been bad either. The iPad was used all day long on LTE and no Wi-Fi connection, as there was none where we went. And impressively, as we traveled along from stop to stop, not only did it meet my mobile needs, but lasted all day with a bit of battery to spare. I felt like a genius. At the end of the day, though, once we reached our destination, reality struck, and I went through smartphone withdrawals. I missed climbing into bed with the smaller form factor, flicking mindlessly and easily through menus on its small size. I even got moody. I grumpily found the iPad size to be difficult, unwieldy, and the keyboard to be annoying to fiddle with. I really hoped I wasn't actually fatigued of the challenge already, but just going through withdrawal. It was withdrawal. So I sucked it up and I put my smartphone away. Thankfully, the next day was much better, and I thoroughly enjoyed my iPad's company over breakfast. It really can take some great pictures. So now we are on to day 2 of using the iPad Pro as my daily driver, and I can say that things move a lot slower when using an iPad versus a phone. You're not checking notifications all the time because you really can't, so things are more meaningful. You sit down, you have a chance to really engage with those notifications. So I'm actually liking it more than I thought that I would at this point. Okay. So I'm officially that person, filming and taking pictures with an iPad on Lake Crescent. It's just so unbelievably beautiful. This makes a great viewfinder. So, John and I decided to record our whereabouts with the iPad, and you know what? No one cared or even noticed we were using an iPad for a camera. Gasp! It actually made a really great viewfinder and continued to take great pictures and video as well. And it actually has the same camera setup as the iPhone 7, 4K stabilization and all. It is completely proficient for basic camera needs, even if a bit unwieldy. So the trip came to an end, and it turned out that the iPad was probably one of the best things I could have brought with me to rely on. The battery did not fail me during each entire day of use. Then Monday and Tuesday happened, and they went well for the most part, with the iPad as my daily driver. And I didn't really notice that I wasn't using a smartphone, as the iPad supplied all that I needed, just in a much bigger form factor. The keyboard and Apple Pencil worked really well for productivity, and I found the pencil to be indispensable as a mouse. Of course, there are plenty of keyboard tricks to not need to touch the screen, but the pencil further helped with needed precision. There was an issue of where to store the pencil, but I found it magnetically holds to the side of the keyboard and even stayed attached in my bag. If you're worried about losing it though, I would purchase a pencil sling. All seemed grand. I was reaching for notifications less when out and about. I finally wasn't holding a smartphone in my hand. It felt really freeing. Tuesday night though, I had an issue with my T-Mobile account and I had to begrudgingly make a phone call. So this brought up the issue that sometimes we have to make phone calls. So what do we do with an iPad? Where are we left because our iPad cell service covers data only but not SMS and call functionality? And most of all, I realized my device better be able to call 911. So this is where it gets really cool, and I hope it can answer some of your questions. So situation number 1, if you're part of the Apple ecosystem, you can make and receive calls on your iPad with help of your iPhone if your carrier supports Wi-Fi calling and supported iCloud connected devices. So this works over my iPad's cellular data when I'm away from my iPhone. And I can also text and send texts with SMS forwarding with the help of my iPhone as well. So that's one solution if you intend to still use your iPhone, but what about if you don't have an iPhone or you just want to use your iPad independently? So this is where I found out that you can install Google Voice and Google Hangouts. Then you can get a free phone number from Google Voice. After doing those really simple things, then you can start making and receiving calls and texts right from Google Hangouts. I had no idea you could do this. It works over cellular data, and it's free within the United States. And the last one I found out is that you can use the Digits app if you are a T-Mobile subscriber. And what this lets you do is basically the same things as Google Hangouts, but it lets you use your number and account from T-Mobile just like you would with your handset. So this is included with your service. So you really can use a cellular connected iPad as a functional daily driver, even as a phone. There are a lot of options, and I didn't really expect that. So you can use it in conjunction with your iPhone, or you can use it independently with solutions like Digits or Google Hangouts. So conclusions. As I narrate all of this, it is now Thursday, and I'm comfortable to make some conclusions and tell you what I've learned from this experiment. So my iPad has successfully been my daily driver all week long, and has even become my phone when needed. I've decided to use the Google Hangouts / Google Voice combination for calls because it's the most reliable and with good call quality. But I will absolutely switch to using Digits only if T-Mobile can fix the call quality issues. Please, T-Mobile, fix the call quality issues. It works great already, but the call quality sounds really quite scratchy and has nothing to do with the internet connection. So what now going forward? So I really think that I'm going to continue using the iPad primarily, as my main device. And of course, I'm going to keep a smartphone in tow. That way I get the best of both worlds and I can switch to a smaller screen when needed. After all, I obviously still intend to use a smartphone camera as my camera because it just makes perfect sense. So I feel like using the iPad has given me a sense of freedom and control that I forgot that I had. I just really like knowing that I can leave my smartphone behind and be less tempted to be on it all day without paying attention. So this has actually helped me a lot. So let me know what you guys think, and if you want to try this challenge. It really wasn't bad. It was surprising. Now, if only carriers and OEMs would allow fully functioning iPad phones, I would be all over that. So this has been the No Smartphone Challenge with an iPad. And yes, it has been enough. So this has been Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think below. Let me know if you're going to start doing this challenge. And have a good night, you guys.